Hello, my name is Shrikant Mulik. In this video, I am going to discuss about organizational culture. Let us first understand what is an organizational culture. It refers to a system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs that show employees what is appropriate and what is inappropriate behavior. These values have a strong influence on employee behavior as well as organizational performance. Culture is by and large invisible to us. You see it when you can compare it to other organizations. If you have worked in multiple organizations, you can easily compare cultures of these organizations. Now, the question is, why does organizational culture matter? An organization's culture may be one of its strongest assets as well as its biggest liability. Researchers have found a relationship between organizational cultures and company performance. At the same time, it is important to have a culture that fits with demands of the company's environment. For example, if a company is in the high-tech industry, having a culture that encourages innovativeness and adaptability will support this performance. However, if a company in the same industry has a culture characterized by stability, a high respect for tradition, and a strong preference for upholding rules and procedures, the company may suffer as a result of its culture. In other words, just as having the right culture may be a competitive advantage for an organization, having the wrong culture may lead to a performance difficulty. Organization culture is also an effective control mechanism for dictating employee behavior. For example, creating a culture of customer service achieves better result than relying on detailed rulebook. Now let us understand the characteristics of organizational culture. Culture can be best understood in terms of 9 different culture dimensions, depending on what is most emphasized within the organization. Let us look at them one after another. First is innovative culture. Companies that have innovative cultures are flexible and adaptable. They experiment with new ideas. These companies are characterized by a flat hierarchy in which titles and other status distinctions tend to be downplayed. Second is aggressive culture. Companies with aggressive cultures value competitiveness and outperforming competitors. However, emphasizing this may fall short in the area of corporate social responsibility. Third is outcome oriented culture. They emphasize achievement, results, and action as important values. Outcome oriented cultures hold employees as well as managers accountable for success. They utilize systems that reward employee and group output. In these companies, it is more common to see rewards tied to performance indicators as opposed to seniority or loyalty. An extreme focus on outcomes can, however, make employees see their peers as rivals and can result into an unhealthy work environment. Fourth is stable cultures. Stable cultures are predictable, rule oriented, and bureaucratic. These organizations aim to coordinate and align individual effort for greatest level of efficiency. When the environment is stable and certain, these cultures may help the organization be effective by providing stable and constant levels of output. These cultures prevent quick action and as a result may be a misfit to a changing and dynamic environment. Public sector enterprises may be viewed as stable cultures. Next comes people oriented cultures. People oriented cultures value fairness, supportiveness, and respect for individual rights. In these organizations, there is a greater emphasis on and expectation of treating people with respect and dignity. Sixth is team oriented culture. Companies with team oriented culture are collaborative and emphasize cooperation among employees. Seventh is detail oriented cultures. Organizations with detail oriented cultures emphasize precision and paying attention to details. Such a culture gives a competitive advantage to companies in the hospital industry by helping them differentiate themselves from others. Eighth and the second last one is service culture. In retail industry, for example, having a service culture can make or break an organization. In the organizations with service cultures, employees are trained to serve the customers well, and cross training is the norm. Employees are empowered to resolve customer problems in the ways they seem fit. Last one is the safety culture. Some jobs are safety sensitive. In organizations where safety sensitive jobs are performed, creating and maintaining a safety culture provides a competitive advantage. With safety culture, the organization can reduce accidents, maintain high levels of morale and employee retention, and increase profitability by cutting workers' compensation insurance costs. Some companies suffer bad consequences when they are unable to develop such a culture. Before we move on, let us note that there might be multiple cultures within any given organization. For example, the marketing department may emphasize innovativeness, whereas the manufacturing department may have a shared emphasis on detail orientation. So, as an employee, you need to understand the type of subculture in the department where you will work in addition to understanding the company's overall culture. Now is the time for a quick exercise. Think about an organization you are familiar with. Based on the dimensions discussed till now, how would you characterize its culture?